Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm experimenting with the Harvard Project Zero thinking routines. I'm available to bounce ideas off of because I'd love to bounce my ideas off of you. Ping me at studio-nemo.com or the Duolingo Educators Network or the Minecraft Education Ambassadors. And I do have a write-up of everything I'm talking about both at studio-nemo.com and in the Duolingo Educators Network. Today we are talking about facts or fiction, and this is located at the pz.harvard.edu/thinking-routines. Not only is it in our digging deeper into ideas section, but it is also in considering controversies, dilemmas, and perspectives. Remember, a lot of times they double dip on their thinking routines. So this is facts or fiction, a routine to increase awareness of the many issues of truth and what to consider when exploring the truth of something. When you're teaching grammar explicitly, you're doing pop-up grammar, grammar translation method, audiolingual method while looking at transformation drills, community language learning, and you're dissecting a script your class wrote, or you're working straight out of your textbook and you want to explicitly talk about grammar. This is a really fun way to play with if-then, or if you're working on the construction, first this happens and then this happens. You can show a series of pictures taken moments before disaster, quote unquote. Okay. Do an internet search and you're going to find just a plethora of stuff, probably whole articles, all that clickbaity stuff. That's really going to grab your students' attention. But vet the pictures before you show them to your class, because some of your students are going to be high on the ACEs scale. Some of the students are going to be triggered. I had a student who was deathly afraid of spiders last year, and actually I've got her next year too. And so I have to make sure I'm not showing any pictures that have spiders in them. Okay. So this is just like, I just went through and you had one job to do. These are houses, pictures taken moments before disaster. These are perfectly timed pictures. And I chose ones that have like something weird is going on with a body part or something. Weird perspective pictures. I love those crazy things. Okay. So, for example, here's one. I'm sure you've seen it on the internet. It's pretty popular. So you're going to have your students come up with both the obvious, what's happening, what's going to happen, and then they start brainstorming ways that things might turn out okay after all. Okay, and that can get really, really goofy. Maybe a helicopter is going to swoop in and pick him up. Maybe he's going to find out he has superpowers. I don't know. Whatever. It's just going to be funny. So, maybe give your students some think time first, let them jot down some ideas first, and then let them work with elbow partners and work on mini whiteboards. And that way you can go around easily and see what everyone has, and you can raise an eyebrow and correct things. Hey, is it il nage with an S or il nage without an S? You just raise an eyebrow, point to it, and they'll figure it out. Okay. And then afterwards, you can have them either come up to the board and copy their sentences down, or they can read the sentences aloud to the class, or both. When you're focusing on literature, culture, history, art, which includes music and food, you should be focusing on that all the time. I saved all my textbooks from my time in Japan, so I'm lucky that I have different perspectives of certain things. And I really like to focus on like Commodore Perry coming to Japan. Because the American and the Japanese perspective is really different. Heck, World War II, very interesting to talk about. One time after school in Japanese club, we watched Shogun. I would never show a film in English during school, but after school we watched it. We had this great discussion on the American viewpoint of what Japan was and the Japanese viewpoint of what Japan was. So for Spanish class, I show them several little news clips. Now, this one I really have to warn my students, there's going to be some blood, okay? So I show them news clips in Spanish, of course. Either, hey, the running of the bulls is going on right now, or a news report of the cruelty to animals inherent in it, or another one that doesn't even think about the animals' viewpoint, but just thinks about the people. Hey, look at these macho people all being really stupid and getting themselves hurt during this. So there's 3 different viewpoints there, and probably many more, but that's a fun thing to focus on. In our next episode, we're going to talk about hotspots. Hope to see you there.